My husband suddenly became helpful and sweet. Our kids started talking about Miss Alana. Then I found a second phone full of messages and photos of them together. So I moved out and started the separation. So I don't know if anyone here actually reads the long ones, but I have to get this out before I just lose my mind, to be honest. I've been lurking forever. Never posted, but I feel like if I don't write it down, I'm gonna start screaming at random people in the Target parking lot. Not even kidding. I'm just gonna say it all ugly and messy because I wanna know if I'm insane or if this is as bad as it feels. First off, me, I'm Joanna, I'm 29, 2 kids, girl is 7, boy is 5, married to Hunter, who's 31, and has until recently been, I don't know, functional, not gonna lie. We're not like couple goals or whatever, but it was stable. We have routines, fights about stupid stuff, laundry mountains, doom scrolling at dinner, forgetting to buy milk when I literally texted. His family is from here, so they're in our business a lot. My family's like 5 minutes away and they're nosy, but in a bring you soup when you're sick kind of way. We're not rich, we're not poor, we do okay. Not a flex, just context. So last month, Hunter starts acting like weirdly nice, not flowers or let's do date night nice, but like strategic. Suddenly, he's getting up before me, making the kids breakfast, telling me to stay in bed and I'll handle the drop-off, you deserve a break. And I'm like, okay. Not that I'm complaining, just this is a guy who literally once said he didn't know how the toaster worked. I mean, maybe he watched some TikTok on being a better husband. I didn't want to jinx it. I told my sister Amber, who's always suspicious of everything, and she goes, maybe he finally realized you were about to snap if you had to clean one more lunchbox. I laughed. I wanted to believe it, but okay. Then it's more. He starts saying stuff like, don't worry about the house, I'll take care of it later, and I'll get the groceries, you relax. I mean, I should have been thrilled, right? But it just felt off. Like, he's never been that guy. He's the do it but be grumpy guy. You know? Plus he's suddenly super chill, letting the kids have extra screen time, not fussing about bedtime, not grilling me about what I spent at Target, which is, not gonna lie, suspicious in itself. So, I start noticing little things, like, he's always got his phone on him, but now he's got it on silent. He's laughing at stuff he can't explain if I ask. Once I heard him singing in the car, windows up, and I realized he was playing some song from, I don't know, 2012, that he's never even liked. Not even on his playlist. His mood's better, way better than it should be for someone who hates his commute and acts allergic to basic chores. I bring it up to Amber again. She says, maybe he's cheating. Half joking, but I roll my eyes and say, with who? He's at home or at the gym or driving kids around. He's not the type. Or I didn't think so. But I start thinking, if he's not seeing someone, is he at least talking to someone? I don't want to be that person, the paranoid wife. But it's like he's living in a whole other vibe. Then the kids start saying weird stuff. Like my daughter comes home and says, Miss Alana let us have marshmallows in our hot chocolate. And I'm like, who's Miss Alana? She says she's at school sometimes and she knows Daddy's favorite songs. My son says, Miss Alana's hair is purple and she has tattoos, but Daddy says it's cool. I ask Hunter that night, who's Alana? He barely looks up, says she's just a teacher's assistant. Don't overthink everything. I let it go. But it's bugging me. I text one of the other moms and she's like, no idea, but maybe someone new at aftercare. Says she'll ask her kid. Next day, no one else's kid mentions an Alana, just mine. So I start watching more closely. Hunter's out of the house more, says he's running errands, he's always busy. He's suddenly into new music, new phrases, using words I've never heard him use, like he's got a whole new personality. I mean, we've been together 10 years. I know this guy. I ask him to help with something, he's all smiles, says, I've got it. I ask if he's okay, he says, never better. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Fast forward last Friday. I'm late for soccer snacks. Grab his keys, run out to the car. Ours, not just his. We only have one car. Looking for his water bottle. Glove box is a mess. I reach in and my hand hits something weird. It's a phone, not his phone. A whole other phone. I think maybe it's old, but it turns on and it's not locked. My hands are shaking. It's got like 3 months of messages. Top ones are all from someone called Alana with a heart emoji. I see a photo. It's her, purple hair, tattoos, smiling with my kids at the playground. I scroll. There's more. Her and Hunter in the car, him smiling, her hand on his arm. Texts about can't wait for our weekend and finally starting over with the right person. Stuff about once we tell Joanna, it'll be real. I actually feel like I'm going to throw up in the driveway. I take photos of the messages with my own phone. I'm not even thinking, just autopilot. I scroll back. There's him talking about me, like she's so tired she won't notice anything, and I feel trapped but you make me feel alive. I want to scream. I want to break something. I can't. Kids are in the house, so I just sit in the car and stare at the phone. I go back in, pretend nothing's wrong. Hunter walks in, all smiles, asks if the kids are ready. I nod. My hands are shaking. I want to slap him. I want to scream in his face. I don't. I wait until he's in the shower, then I sit on the toilet lid and text him his real phone, not the secret one. I say, found the phone, found the photos, found the messages. Congrats, you're officially the world's dumbest cheater. He doesn't reply at first. Then he texts back, you always ruin things. I was going to tell you when it was the right time. I nearly drop my phone. I go in the kitchen. He comes out, towel around his waist, all casual, asks if I want tea. I say, are you serious right now? He says, don't make this a scene. I say, you made it a scene. He says, you never listen. You're always tired. I say, because I do everything. He says, you never let me be myself. I say, what, yourself is a liar? He says, you're being dramatic. I throw his secret phone at the counter. It bounces, lands on the floor. He picks it up like it's nothing. I want to slap him. I don't. He walks past me, bumps my shoulder. I shove him back. He grabs his keys and leaves. Kids are in the living room watching Paw Patrol, didn't see. I text Amber. She says, come over, bring the kids. Mom's here, we'll figure it out. I say, not yet. I need to think. I need to breathe. I don't cry. I just start pacing back and forth, counting spoons, like if I can just do something normal, this won't be real. For the next 2 hours, Hunter doesn't come back. He doesn't text. He doesn't call. I get a message from an unknown number, just says, you're making this harder than it needs to be. I block it. I call my mom, say, can you come over? She says, of course. Do I need to bring anything? I say, just yourself. Mom shows up, brings cookies, like that's gonna fix anything. Sits at the table, says, what happened? I tell her. She doesn't say leave him or work it out. She just says, I'm here, whatever you need. I want to hug her, but I just sit there, hands on the table, still shaking. I hear Hunter's car outside. He walks in, sees my mom, stops in the doorway, looks at me, looks at her, says, this is private. Mom says, not anymore. He rolls his eyes, says, you're overreacting. I stand up, say, you don't get to talk to me like that. He says, you're ruining the kids' lives. I say, you already did that. He tries to walk past me. I step in front of him. He pushes past. I shove him back. Mom stands up, says enough. He grabs his coat, storms out. I don't sleep that night. I just keep thinking, how long? Why? I reread the texts looking for clues. Like if I can just find the right message, it'll make sense. It doesn't. It's all just him and her pretending I don't exist. Next morning, he's gone before we wake up. Leaves a note, says, need space, don't do anything stupid. I laugh, actually laugh out loud. Like, is this a joke? I eat 2 stale granola bars. Text Amber that I'm coming over later. Pack the kids' stuff. I tell them we're having a sleepover at Auntie's. My daughter says, will Daddy come? I say, not tonight. I spend the whole day, like floating above my own life. I'm at Amber's. Kids are playing. She brings me wine at noon. I show her the photos. She says, holy, this is bad. I don't say anything. I just scroll over and over like maybe I missed some other sign. She says, what are you gonna do? I say, I don't know yet, but I'm not letting him get away with this, not after everything. She says, good. Mom calls, asks if I'm okay. I say, sort of. Later, Hunter texts, when are you coming home? I leave him on read. He calls. I don't answer. He texts, you're being childish. I text back, you don't get to call me that. He says, let's talk. I say, talk to your girlfriend. He doesn't reply that night. Amber says, stay as long as you want. I say, thanks. I hear the kids laughing. I look at them and I just feel tired. Not sad, just done. I text myself just so I don't forget. Not this time. I mean it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. I keep thinking, what did I miss? But mostly, I just want him to have half of what I'm feeling right now. I want him to know he screwed up the one person who actually had his back. I want to break something. I want to make him regret every smug little rest, you've done enough, he ever said, like I was some idiot who couldn't see what was right in front of her face. I don't know what happens next. I just know I'm not letting this go, not this time. If you read this far, thanks. I don't know what I'm even asking. Advice, validation, just needed to say it out loud, I guess. Next update will probably be a mess, but I'm not rolling over. If you've been here, tell me how you made it through without just burning everything down. We'll update if or when I do something drastic. Promise it'll be worth it. First update. So I guess you could call this the revenge part, but honestly, it's way more exhausting and weird than I thought it would feel. First off, if you don't believe this happens to real people, I get it, to be honest. I wouldn't either. But this is the realest it gets, and it just keeps getting more unhinged. So here's what happened after that first night. I stayed at Amber's, my sister, for the new folks with the kids. Not a huge house, pretty cramped, but at least I'm not constantly on edge. I'm running on pure spite and caffeine at this point. I barely slept. Amber let me use her laptop to change all my passwords, joint stuff, social stuff, even my food delivery apps, because I don't trust him not to be petty. I didn't want to go nuclear right away, but the more I scrolled those messages, the more I wanted to set his entire life on fire. So I did the next legal thing. I froze the joint account. Not in some wild, illegal way, just took my half, told the bank we were separating, normal process. Left enough for bills, not playing games with the kids' stuff. I moved my half to a new account. I don't care if he's mad. I told Amber, I'm not letting him use my goodwill to buy flowers for his side chick. End of story. I didn't tell him right away. I wanted to see what he'd do. Instead, I texted him that the kids were with me, safe, and to let me know if he wanted to call them. He left me on read. Hours go by, nothing. And then suddenly he's blowing up my phone. Calls, texts, voice notes, all in a row. One minute he's apologizing, the next minute he's pissed, saying I'm taking things too far. He says I'm overreacting, that I'm punishing him for being unhappy. I just text back, talk to your girlfriend. He sends a thumbs up emoji. I want to throw my phone, but it's not even mine, it's Amber's old one. Then out of nowhere he shows up at Amber's place, literally walks up and starts ringing the bell nonstop. Amber's dog goes nuts. I peek through the blinds and he's out there in his ratty hoodie, pacing back and forth like he's about to kick the door in. I tell the kids to stay in the back and Amber opens the door and says, "You need to leave." He says he just wants to talk to me, says he deserves a conversation. Amber says not happening and tries to close the door. He puts his hand out, pushes the door back open, starts raising his voice. I walk up behind her and say, "If you don't leave, I'm calling your mom." His mom, not mine, which is a threat, not gonna lie. He mutters something under his breath, shoves the door, then leaves. Slams his car door so hard I swear the whole block heard. After that, his calls go from "let's work this out" to "you're ruining the kids' lives." He tries to guilt trip me, says I'm making things harder than they need to be, says I need to think about the family and stop being addictive. I sent him copies of the photos from his secret phone. I say, "Want to see what ruining the family looks like?" He doesn't reply. I forward the ones of him and Alana with our kids, just to twist the knife. Petty? Yeah, but I don't care. He calls my mom. She doesn't answer. He calls my dad, who's mostly just confused, and says, I'm not getting in the middle. I tell my parents what happened. Mom says, "Whatever you need, we'll help." Dad says, "Just don't make it ugly for the kids." I say, "Too late." Then his parents get involved. His mom calls me all innocent, asking if we can sit down and talk this through. I say, "Did you know about Alana?" She says, "That's not the point. You shouldn't take the kids away." I say, "They're not your bargaining chips." She hangs up. His dad texts me, says he's disappointed in how I'm handling things. Next morning, I call the school. I don't make it a spectacle, just ask if they have a policy about who can pick up the kids. Secretary says, "Only people on the list." I say, "Can you make sure Hunter can't pick them up without me?" She asks if everything's okay. I say, "Just a family thing, nothing dramatic." She says, "We'll update the file." I ask if there's an Alana working there. She says, "No one by that name." I hang up, feel my stomach drop. So who is she really? Just some random woman he met somewhere? Not even a legit teacher's aide? I text mom friend, ask if she knows anything. She says, never heard of her, but she'll ask around at pickup. Nothing. The days start to blur. Hunter keeps texting. Sometimes he's all caps, sometimes he's weirdly calm, sometimes he sends voice notes that are just heavy breathing. I ignore him. I hear from a mutual friend, not even that close, Martin, who mostly just reposts memes and group chats, that Hunter's been telling people I lost it, that I'm unstable. I tell Martin the truth. He says, damn, wasn't expecting that, but doesn't want to take sides. Typical. Amber's house is chaos. Kids are confused, keep asking when we're going home. I try to keep things normal, pancakes, walks to the park. I let them watch extra TV. At one point, my daughter says, did daddy do something bad? I say, grown-up problems, not your fault. She shrugs, says, can we have waffles tomorrow? I say, sure, why not? Then out of nowhere, Hunter's sister Kate texts me. Long message about how I'm tearing the family apart, how Hunter wasn't happy for a long time, and I never saw it. She says, you always made him feel small, you never let him be himself. I almost laugh. I reply, you don't know anything about our marriage. She sends a thumbs down. I block her. I tell Amber. She says, screw them all. Later that night, Hunter shows up again. This time he's yelling from the driveway, says he's not leaving until I talk to him. Amber calls my dad, says, can you come get him? My dad drives over. He's like 5 minutes away. Walks up and says, go home, Hunter. You're not getting anywhere like this. Hunter tries to push past him. My dad puts his hand on his chest and says, not tonight. Hunter shoves his hand away. My dad doesn't even flinch. I watch from the window. I'm angry, but I'm also kind of proud of my dad. I call the bank to make sure everything is set up. No weird withdrawals. It's all fine. I move some money to cover the kids' stuff. I text Hunter, if you need money for the kids, let me know. He replies, I'm not useless. I say, prove it. No answer. The weirdest part is how normal some things are. I'm still getting school emails, still have to remember snack day, still have to buy groceries and track down lost socks. but everything feels off, like I'm walking through mud. Amber tries to distract me with dumb memes. She makes me do a face mask with her, even though I look like a criminal. We laugh for a minute, then my phone buzzes and it's Hunter again. I mute him. About a week in, I get an email from the school principal. I want to touch base about the kids. I go in, sit in her office. She asks if everything is okay at home. I say we're separating. There's been some tension, but the kids are safe. She says, your daughter mentioned Miss Alana again and we're a little concerned. I say, as far as I know, there's no Miss Alana here. The principal says we'll keep an eye out, but no one by that name has ever worked here. I ask if anyone's tried to pick up the kids who are not on the list. She says, not yet. I leave feeling more creeped out than before. That night, Hunter shows up at the house again. This time he doesn't even knock, just stands outside, calls my name, says, I just want to talk. I open the window and say, go home or I'll call your mom. He curses, slaps the window frame and storms off. I slam the window shut. Over the next few days, his parents keep calling, alternating between guilt trips and let's be reasonable. I send him the photos from Hunter's secret phone. I say, you want to know what's happening? Here's your golden boy. His mom calls, crying, says, I can't believe he'd do this. I say, believe it. I start thinking about Alana. Who is she? I look her up on Facebook, nothing obvious. I check Instagram, same. I even search my kids' photos in case she tagged them somewhere, but nothing comes up. I feel like I'm chasing a ghost. I text Hunter, who is she really? He says, drop it. I say, not happening. I'm tired of waiting for him to make the next move. I text him, you want to see the kids? Set something up through my mom. He says, you're making this impossible. I say, you did that. He sends me a photo of the kids from like 2 months ago. Says, remember when we were happy? I reply, you threw it away. I hear from Martin again, the meme guy. He says, Hunter's been telling people I'm unstable, that I took the kids and the money. I say, ask him for screenshots. Martin just sends me a meme of a dumpster fire. I laugh for the first time in days. So now I'm at Amber's. Kids are asleep. Amber's watching some dating show on her iPad. I'm typing this on her laptop. I feel like I'm in limbo, but also like I'm finally getting somewhere. Hunter is unraveling, his family's turning on him, and I'm not backing down. I know I'm not perfect. I know I was tired, maybe checked out, but I wasn't cruel. He treated me like a background character in his own drama. He wanted to feel young again or whatever. He thinks I'll cave, that if he just yells loud enough or shows up enough times, I'll give in. But I'm not that girl. Not anymore. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Not the big dramatic ending, but it's real. He's not stopping, but neither am I. I'm done being the one who keeps the peace. I want him to know he lost, and it's all his own fault. If you're reading this, thanks for sticking with me. I'll update when the next thing blows up, because it will. Trust me. I'm just getting started, and if you've ever been here, let me know how you kept your sanity, because this is wild. Second update. So if you thought my last update was peak chaos, buckle up, because apparently my life decided to become a combo of the worst reality show and the most awkward group chat ever. I'm still at Amber's, my sister. Kids are still asking when we're going home, and I'm still running on caffeine and like rage fumes at this point. This week, though, it got way messier. I'm honestly starting to think Hunter's lost all sense of self-preservation. Maybe he thinks if he just keeps pushing, I'll fold. But nah, I'm not built like that anymore. If anything, every time he tries something, I get more stubborn. So here's the latest, and there's a lot. Sorry in advance, this is a long one. So, first weird thing, I started noticing my phone battery draining stupid fast. I thought it was just because my kid keeps sneaking it to play games, but then I realized my calls log was full of missed calls from random numbers, like real late at night too. I block one, another pops up, not even leaving voicemails, just hanging up, not gonna lie. I was a little creeped out, not scared, just annoyed. I tell Amber. She's like, maybe it's Hunter getting friends to call you. I said, if it is, they're all cowards, because no one says a word. Then on Tuesday, I'm at the grocery store with my son and I see Hunter's car in the lot. I almost skipped the produce aisle just to avoid a scene, but he never comes inside. I text him, real short, do not follow me. He doesn't reply. Later that night, Amber says he messaged her too, asking when I'll be reasonable. So next day, I'm trying to be normal. Dropped the kids off, came back to Amber's, made coffee, scrolled social. I see a friend request from someone named Alana. Profile pic is a close-up, purple hair, same eyes as in those playground photos. Bio is just a string of emojis, nothing useful, no mutuals. I let it sit. 2 hours later, she sends a DM. Hey, can we talk? I swear I didn't know everything. I just stare at the screen. I'm like, what do you even want from me? I don't reply. She sends another. Not trying to fight, just want to explain my side. I show Amber. She says, block her. But I don't, not yet. I reply, what do you want to say? She writes back a wall of text. Basically, she says she met Hunter at the gym, of course. Didn't know he was married at first. He told her we were separated, but living together for the kids and that I was cold to him for years. She says she only found out about me and the kids after she met them, but he said I knew all about her and was fine, just needed time. She said she didn't mean to get in the middle, but by then she caught feelings. I'm reading this and my hands are shaking, not with sadness, but legit rage. I write, you knew he had kids, you made them hot chocolate and let them think you were just a teacher's helper. That's not innocent. She replies, I'm sorry. I believed him. I thought you didn't care. He said you hated him. I just block her after that. I don't need any more of her girl-to-girl energy. I screenshot the messages, send them to Hunter with the caption, your mess, not mine. So I figure maybe that's it. Maybe Alana will back off. But the next morning, I get a text from Hunter's mom. It's a group text. Me, her, his dad, and Hunter's sister Kate. She says, can we please have a family meeting? This is getting out of control. The kids are suffering. Kate chimes in immediately, says, Joanna, you're being vindictive. He's not a bad dad. Let's work this out. I almost laugh. I reply, send me one reason why I should ever trust him again. Silence. I go about my day. I've got laundry in the dryer. My son is begging for pancakes. Amber's at work. She actually left me a note on the fridge. Don't burn the house down. Pulse. I'm so tired of all of it. I open the fridge, see nothing but oat milk and leftovers, and just stand there like, is this my life now? I hear my phone buzz. It's Hunter calling. I decline. He calls again. I finally answer, snapping, what do you want? He says, let's talk in person. Just us. I say, not happening. He says, you owe me that. I say, I owe you nothing. He hangs up. That afternoon, I'm picking up the kids from school. I see Hunter's car parked a block away. He's just sitting there, windows down, staring at his phone. I ignore him, buckle the kids in, drive off. Later, I get a text. Can I see the kids tomorrow? I reply, set it up through my mom. He says, why do you keep punishing me? I don't answer. The next day, I'm at the house for the first time in weeks to grab some stuff. Kids' clothes, my shoes, random things we forgot. I texted Hunter first, asked him not to be there, but the second I walk in, I hear the back door. He's there, just standing in the kitchen, arms crossed. I say, I told you not to be here. He says, it's my house too. I say, not today. He tries to block the hallway. I push past him. He grabs my arm. I slap his hand away. He says, stop making this harder. I say, move. I get to the car, hands shaking. Kids already strapped in. Thank God they never went inside. I drive off, call Amber, say, never letting him near me alone again. She says, want me to come next time? I say, yes, please. Later that night, I get another DM. This time it's from Alana again. New account just says, he's lying to both of us. I'm out. I don't reply. So Friday, I'm at the playground letting the kids burn off energy. Kate, his sister, shows up with her own kid. She walks over like nothing's weird. I brace myself. She says, can we talk? I say, about what? She says, you're making this harder than it has to be. Hunter's a mess. You're ruining his life. I say, he did that himself. She says, he's your kid's father. You need to be fair. I say, he can see them when he stops acting like a psycho. She rolls her eyes, says, you're always so dramatic. I say, and you're always so desperate to fix other people's lives. She snaps, at least I don't run from problems. I laugh, say, you run from reality. She glares, grabs her kid's hand, storms off. So then the real kicker. Hunter shows up at my work. I'm not even kidding. I'm in the parking lot, earbuds in, waiting for Amber to pick me up. I see him get out of his car. He walks straight up, says, we need to talk. I pull out an earbud, say, not here. He says, you can't keep dodging me. I say, watch me. He tries to stand in front of me, blocking my way. I walk around him. He grabs my arm. I shove him hard enough that he stumbles. I say, never touch me again. He says, you're making a scene. I say, you're the one in the parking lot. Amber pulls up, sees what's happening, gets out and says, get in the car. I hop in. Hunter tries to stop us. Amber slams her door and peels out. My hands are shaking, but I just laugh, half out of relief, half out of, this is my life. After that, I get a call from the school principal. Says there was an incident at dismissal. Apparently Hunter tried to pick up the kids without being on the list. Staff wouldn't let him. He argued, made a scene, finally left. They tell me they're updating the file. Only I or Amber or my mom can pick the kids up now. I apologize for the drama. They say we see this stuff more than you think. Not comforting, but at least they're on it. That night, my mom calls, says Hunter's parents have been calling her nonstop. She says, they're threatening to go to court for grandparent rights. I say, let them try. She says, they're just scared. I say, they should have been scared before. She says, we'll back you up. And I swear the universe just wants to throw more at me because as soon as I hang up, I get a group text from Kate, Hunter's mom, and Hunter. Kate says, you're destroying this family. Hunter's mom says, I can't believe you're doing this to your kids. Hunter says, I hope you're happy. I send screenshots of his texts to Alana, say, this is your boy. Ask him if he's happy. I leave the group. I block them all. I text Amber. I'm done with all of them. She replies, good, I start paperwork for a legal separation. It's not fast, but I'm not playing anymore. I tell Hunter, I'm filing. You'll get served soon. He says, you're impossible. I say, so are you. He calls me names. I hang up. So yeah, I know this is a mess. I know my kids will have questions. I know people will talk. I know his family is going to get meaner before they get tired. But I'm not budging. I'm not letting him rewrite the story just because he's embarrassed he got caught. He can whine to his sister. He can DM Alana. He can stalk my social all he wants. I'm not scared anymore. Last bit, because this is getting long. My daughter asked me, why is daddy so mad? I said, he made choices that hurt people and now he's upset about the consequences. She said, so we're not going home? I said, not yet. She said, okay, can I have pancakes tomorrow? I said, always. Sometimes it really is that simple. So if you made it this far, thanks for listening to my TED Talk of a nightmare. Next update will probably be even messier because I just started the legal stuff and Hunter's already losing his grip. I'm not sorry. I'm not softening. I want him to feel every bit of what he made me feel, and then some. Call me petty, I don't care. I'm done being the reasonable one. We'll update when he finally gets served, or when his family tries to show up with pitchforks, whichever comes first. Until then, I'll be here. Thanks for reading, seriously. I needed this more than I realized. Last update. So I guess this is the finale. I'm still low-key in disbelief this all happened to me, like I'm some side character in a bad Netflix original. But whatever, here we are. I should have known the energy was going to get weird when I woke up and my phone showed 17 missed calls. Not just Hunter, but his mom, Kate, random numbers, even a text from Martin, the meme guy from group chats, saying, yo, Hunter's losing it. I just stared at the phone for a sec, like, is he going to show up at Amber's again? I told Amber, please watch the door. She just rolled her eyes and said, if he tries it, I'm going full Home Alone on him. So yeah, things had been awkwardly quiet for like 3 days, which in my world means something's coming. I'd already started the divorce paperwork. Slow, expensive, annoying, but necessary. My mom and dad have been helping with the kids, running them to school, making sure I actually eat, etc. I finally got the all clear from my lawyer to go back to the house and get the rest of our stuff. So I figured, might as well just rip the band-aid off. I texted Hunter the night before, told him, don't be there tomorrow. I'm just grabbing our things. He didn't answer. Fine, whatever. I rolled up to the house with Amber, my dad, and the kids. I let the kids take their tablets in the car because I didn't want them seeing whatever mess was waiting. We walk in and it's so quiet, weirdly so. The kitchen looked like no one had used it in weeks, which tracks because Hunter always expected me to do the groceries. There was a pile of unopened mail, random garbage, a single mug in the sink with what looked like old instant ramen floating around. I just shook my head. Amber helped me pack up the kids' clothes, some toys, my shoes, the dumb little stuff that somehow matters most when you're leaving for real. My dad kept making trips to the car, didn't say much, just got it done. Then I found the envelope on the dining table, just my name, nothing else. I opened it and it was divorce papers signed by Hunter. I didn't expect it to hit, so, I don't know, final. I mean, I was already doing my own paperwork, but seeing his signature was like, oh wow, he actually gave up playing the victim for 5 seconds. There was a sticky note on top. You ruined everything. Hope you're happy. I almost laughed. I put it back in the envelope and stuck it in my bag. As we're leaving, I hear a car door slam. Hunter's car, of course. He storms up the driveway yelling, you can't just take everything. Amber steps in front of me, says, not today. He glares, tries to shoulder past her, but my dad stands next to her. Hunter says, this is my house. I say, not for long. He's shaking, yelling, you're doing this despite me. I say, you did this to yourself. He tries to grab my arm, but I slap his hand away hard. He says, you're insane. I say, you're pathetic. Amber tells him, back off. He yells, you made me do this. I say, you made your own choices, and we drive off. I moved into my parents' spare room that night, just for a bit. It's cramped, and the bathroom door sticks, and the Wi-Fi is trash, but the kids are fine, and for the first time in weeks, I actually slept. Mom made pancakes in the morning. My son asked if we could go home yet. I said, we are home for now. He shrugged, went back to his tablet. Then the real fun started. Hunter started calling, not just once or twice, but like all day. When I didn't pick up, he switched to texting. First it was all, can we talk? Then it was, you can't keep the kids from me. Then straight up guilt trips. You're breaking up the family. You're making the worst mistake. You're gonna regret this. I blocked him. He used another number. I blocked that too. He started texting not just me, but my dad, my mom, even Amber, all the same stuff. You're all against me. You'll regret this. You're poisoning my kids against me. His mom started in again, texting me saying, you need to talk to Hunter. He's not eating. He's not sleeping. He's saying he can't go on like this. I told her if he wants to see the kids, do it by the book, no more ambushes. She said I was being cruel. I said, ask your son why we're here. The next weekend, Hunter shows up at my parents' house. Just stands on the porch texting me, I can see you in there, let me in, I just want to see the kids. My dad opens the door, says, not today, Hunter. Hunter pushes past him, walks into the living room, starts yelling, you're all against me. How can you do this? I stand up, tell him, you can leave or I'll call someone to escort you out. He says, I'm not leaving, this is my family. I say, you gave that up the second you brought another woman into their lives. He tries to slam his hand on the table. My mom just stands there, arms crossed, says, don't break my table. Hunter looks at her, then at me, then back at my dad. My dad says, don't make me say it again. Hunter storms out. That night was rough. My daughter asked if Daddy was mad. I said, he's upset, but it's not your fault. She asked if we'd ever go home. I said, this is home for a while. She said, okay. The days after, Hunter went quiet. Too quiet, honestly. Then the paperwork started rolling in for real. Court dates, custody stuff, all the legal things you never want to read. I kept everything above board, never talked bad about him in front of the kids, just told them we were figuring things out. Amber said I should be proud of myself, but honestly, I was just tired. My mom kept cooking, my dad kept fixing things around the house. Then another twist. I get a letter from Hunter's lawyer, basically saying he wants joint custody, wants the house, wants the car. I laughed. I texted him, you want to play games? Fine, let's play. I sent him screenshots of the messages with Alana, said, good luck explaining this. He replied, you're heartless. I replied, you're reckless. The hearing was a nightmare. Not exciting, just long and awkward. His lawyer tried to paint me as unstable for taking the kids out of the house without telling him, completely ignoring the whole affair part. My lawyer asked about the second phone, the messages, the way Hunter tried to pick up the kids from school without permission. Hunter looked pissed the whole time, like he couldn't believe he wasn't getting his way. Kate, his sister, was there, just glaring at me. His mom wouldn't meet my eyes. My parents sat behind me, stone-faced. Now it's been 2 weeks since all that. Hunter's living in some apartment near downtown. I heard from Martin, meme guy, that Hunter's been couch surfing before that, complaining to anyone who listened that I took everything and turned everyone against him. No one's really buying it anymore. Even Kate's gone quiet. Alana's name hasn't come up once from his family. I'm not even curious at this point. The money situation sucks, but I'm figuring it out. I left him enough for bills, took my share. Nothing sneaky. My parents help with groceries, Amber fills in the gaps. I'm still at their place, but looking for a new apartment. The kids are okay, honestly, better than I expected. My daughter drew a picture of our family, just me, her brother, and grandma and grandpa. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I know people want a neat ending, but life isn't like that. I'm not healed. I'm not stronger for it or any of that Pinterest crap. I'm just done. I did what I had to. I fought back. I refused to be the doormat. If that makes me the villain in his story, I'm good with that. I'd rather be hated than walked over again, ever. I don't know what happens next. I'm just glad it won't be with him. I'm glad my kids won't grow up thinking this is normal. I'm not sorry. And if Hunter reads this, because I know he still stalks my socials, just know, not this time. You lost. Thanks for reading, for real. Maybe next update will be about something boring, like finally finding a new apartment with decent Wi-Fi, but for now, I'm out. If anyone wants to trade stories about the wildest thing an ex ever texted you, drop it below. I need a laugh.